Hey everyone, Micah here with Electrek, and today we're reviewing Pedego's most affordable electric bike yet, the Pedego Element. Let's check it out. If you thought you knew Pedego, then think again and take a gander at this new e-bike that the company just debuted, the Pedego Element. It appears to be Pedego's shot across the bow of the value e-bike companies, and it marks Pedego's entry into this brave new pricing territory. When it comes to specs, the Pedego Element is pretty much par for the course with most other 48-volt e-bikes in its class. The bike rocks a rear hub motor rated for 500 watts continuous and 1000 watts peak, and it has a semi-integrated 48-volt and 10 amp hour battery in the down tube. The two work in tandem to propel the bike up to 20 miles per hour or 32 kilometers per hour with either the throttle or pedal assist, making it a Class 2 e-bike in the US. The pedal assist is only cadence-based, not a fancy torque sensor, but it works just fine, especially on flat ground. The bike does sport a pair of 4-inch by 20-inch fat tires that are small in diameter yet big in performance, since they allow you to do all sorts of fun riding that you wouldn't normally be able to do with just little 2-inch wide tires. The wide and knobby tread makes it fun to hit loose terrain like sand and loose soil, and I'll admit that I spent a good amount of time throwing sand around just for the fun of it. Those fat tires are also your only form of suspension, since the Pedego Element features a totally rigid frame and fork. Theoretically, you could swap in a suspension seat post if you wanted, but as far as stock features go, there's no suspension to be had here. When you're on these beautiful streets cruising flat ground, you'll probably forget that there's no suspension. But when the riding gets rougher, I find that I need to rise out of the saddle sometimes and keep soft knees to improve the ride quality. Obviously, your mileage may vary, and it will depend on the type of riding that you do. Speaking of mileage, I find I was getting an extrapolated range of somewhere between 20 to 40 miles, or 32 to 64 kilometers of range from this bad boy. It's the lower end of that when I'm flying around at top speed on throttle only, and the longer end of that range when cruising at more relaxed speeds and with pedal assist instead of throttle. Either way you ride, the range is pretty standard for e-bikes of this size and power and battery level. Ultimately, the Pedego Element feels like a nice set of compromises to me. I find the performance to be fun and rewarding, even if there's a lack of fancy features to help keep the price as low as it is. While I would have loved to see some fenders included, or a rear rack for more utility types of riding, or even some included lights, these are all things that riders can add themselves if they're so inclined. And while there are definitely other e-bikes out there that offer similar specs at better prices, the last thing the Pedego Element has going for it over the competition is the nationwide support and service. Unlike direct-to-consumer e-bike companies, Pedego has over 100 dealers across the US. That means that you don't have to take my word for it. You can actually test ride the Element yourself if you have a local Pedego dealer. My local dealer had a number of models in different colors, in addition to the usual suspects of more expensive Pedego models on hand. And of course, when it comes to service, I'd much rather have a local Pedego shop that can get me in and out in the same day than have to mail my e-bike across the country for service, or wait for a part to come in the mail and perform a repair myself. So while the Pedego Element is a good bike at a good price, the cherry on top that is the national Pedego presence is what really makes this a great deal. You're not just getting an e-bike, you're actually getting a network of support, which, depending on the circumstances, can be pretty priceless. Thanks for watching, everyone. We hope you enjoyed that review of the Pedego Element electric bike. If you did, why don't you give this video a thumbs up? And don't forget to subscribe so you can check out all of our future electric vehicle videos. We'll see you here next time.